Imagine an invisible eye orbiting hundreds of miles above, watching everything you do on the ground, every power plant, every foreign-owned facility, yeah, every key piece of infrastructure,
Correct.
and then reporting that information directly, like instantly, to forces actively preparing a strike.
It's a chilling thought.
It really is. And that's the startling accusation coming from Ukraine. Right now, they claim China is providing those satellite eyes to help Russia pick its targets, taking their support for the war to a shocking new level, a level of technological integration.
Yeah, it raises huge questions.
What does this mean for the conflict? And I mean, what kind of high-tech geopolitical partnership are we really seeing unfold up there in orbit? Welcome to The Military Point, your ultimate source for sharp insights, analysis, and updates covering today's most important topics. Before we continue, tell us in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to know. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more updates. Okay, so our mission today is a deep dive into the specific sources, the reports covering these, well, deeply concerning allegations.
Right. We need to look at the history, too, the space cooperation between Beijing and Moscow.
Exactly, and unpack what the U.S. and Ukraine have actually claimed regarding this high-stakes intelligence sharing. Are we seeing a full integration of military capabilities here? Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, look, it's absolutely a critical moment because these aren't just, general complaints anymore. The claims are specific, and they come with high-level authority. We're talking about Ola Alexandrov, an official from Ukraine's Foreign Intelligence Service.
Okay.
He stated, this was back on October 4th, that there is clear evidence of a high level of cooperation between Russia and China, specifically for satellite reconnaissance over Ukrainian territory.
And the goal, as stated in these sources, it's chillingly precise, to identify and reconnoiter strategic targets for destruction.
Oh.
I mean, if that's true, we are looking at China allegedly acting as Russia's orbital spotter.
Basically, yeah. Giving them the exact coordinates to aim missiles and drones. That's the crucial difference, you see. If this is happening at the state-to-state level, it's not just like passive diplomatic support. This is alleged active military assistance using these very advanced orbital assets.
And it plugs a known gap for Russia, doesn't it? Their own satellite recon is often seen as, well, maybe not quite up to par with NATO's.
Exactly. It's often cited as less comprehensive. So alleged Chinese support could instantly plug that gap. It's significant.
And, okay, predictable perhaps, but Beijing and Moscow quickly denied Alexandrov's claim.
Of course.
But the allegation itself, it lands hard because, I mean, this isn't the first time this kind of thing has come up, right? It feels like it builds on a pattern we've been sort of tracking for over a year now.
That's right. And this is where we need to look at the evidence trail the Ukrainians are trying to present. They aren't just making a blanket accusation, apparently. They seem to be linking this alleged activity directly to actual strikes on the ground.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting then. The targets being hit recently seem to provide the context for this specific intelligence activity. What stands out to you in terms of, like, the location and the type of target being hit?
Well, Alexandrov specifically highlighted that some targets hit in recent months belong to foreign investors.
Foreign investors, okay.
And this seems to point directly toward that August missile strike on an American-owned electronics plant. Remember that it was located in western Ukraine.
Ah, yes. So that suggests the goal isn't just purely military. It's maybe precise economic disruption, targeting countries that support Ukraine.
That's certainly how it could be interpreted. It adds another layer to it.
And the timing. The timing is key when looking at specific barrages, too, isn't it?
Absolutely. Following a massive Russian missile and drone attack focused on the Lviv region, Ukrainian media reports noted something interesting. They reported that several Chinese remote sensing satellites had allegedly passed directly over western Ukraine right beforehand.
Right beforehand.
Yeah. That timing, I mean, it suggests a near real-time intelligence flow, potentially enabling the strike planning itself.
Wow. But to really grasp the severity, maybe, of this shift, we need to remember the precedents, like you said. This flow of orbital intelligence isn't entirely new, maybe, but the alleged recipient and the scale seem to have changed.
Exactly. Think back to 2023. The U.S. government sanctioned Chinese firms, specifically for providing satellite imagery of Ukrainian territory. But back then, the reported client was the Russian private military company, Wagner.
Right, the Wagner connection.
Yeah.
That feels like a really crucial distinction, doesn't it?
It does.
Because that was essentially framed as a commercial transaction involving a proxy group, not the state itself.
Pretty much. And a Wagner-linked company even acquired the physical instruments, apparently purchasing a pair of satellites directly from one of those sanctioned Chinese firms, Changwang Satellite Technology.
So they bought the cameras, basically.
In a sense, yes. What we seem to be tracking now, based on these allegations, is an escalation. We went from, let's say, commercial proxy support in 2023, where the intelligence was seemingly sold, to the current 2024 allegations of systemic state-level integration,
Okay.
where the intelligence is potentially being shared directly to enhance Russia's state targeting capability against critical infrastructure and potentially foreign interests.
The risk profile has just shot up dramatically then.
That's the concern, yes.
So if the U.S. and Ukraine are right about this, this is much more than just, buying some satellite photos.
Way more.
Washington is reportedly warning allies that this support is much deeper, that it even includes helping Russia build its own space-based military capacity.
Yeah, that changes the whole game, doesn't it? It's not just supply, it's long-term capability building.
So where did that specific warning come from?
That was the essential analysis highlighted in an April 2024 Bloomberg report. The warnings Washington reportedly sent to allies detailed how China had apparently stepped up support, providing not just imagery, but active assistance for Russia's defense industry, effectively bolstering their own indigenous space-based capability.
Right, so this is about ensuring Russia can sustain this kind of high-tech conflict technologically, maybe over the long haul.
That seems to be the implication, yes. Making them less reliant on others eventually, perhaps.
And their collaboration, it stretches far beyond just Earth orbit, right?
Yeah.
Which suggests this is a really long-term strategic bond they're forging.
Oh, absolutely. It seems to be about shaping the future of space exploration itself together.
How so?
Well, look at the depth of this high-stakes partnership. It's maybe best exemplified by their joint commitment to the moon. Back in 2021, they announced plans for an International Lunar Research Station, the ILRS.
A joint moon base.
Essentially, yes. And to highlight just how serious and long-term this is, Chinese and Russian officials are even considering putting a nuclear power plant on the moon to power that station.
A nuclear reactor on the moon.
That's the proposal being discussed. I mean, this isn't some temporary military alliance of convenience. This signals a permanent, multi-decade commitment to jointly mastering, the ultimate high ground of space.
And the military utility is also locked into their basic navigation systems, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which are obviously essential for any kind of precision strike.
Correct. We've seen significant integration efforts between China's Beidou and Russia's GLONASS systems.
Can you just quickly define those for listeners who might not know?
Sure. Think of Beidou and GLONASS as the Chinese and Russian equivalents of the U.S.'s GPS system, Global Navigation Satellite Systems.
Okay.
They had an agreement back in 2022 to build ground monitoring stations for both systems, but in each other's countries.
Why is that important? Building stations on each other's turf.
Because mutual ground stations vastly improve signal accuracy and reliability for both systems involved, it makes the whole network stronger, more precise.
Okay. And when you improve the precision of navigation?
You improve the precision of targeting. For every missile, every drone, every guided artillery shell, potentially using that system on the battlefield, it's fundamental.
And this flow of high-tech help, it seems to run both ways, which really underlines that this is a truly synergistic partnership.
That's a key point. If we connect this to the bigger picture, you can look back even before the current major escalation in Ukraine, back to 2019. President Vladimir Putin revealed Russia was actively helping China develop its missile early warning system, a MUWS.
A missile early warning system. What's the significance of that specifically in this partnership context?
Well, MEWS is absolutely crucial. It allows a nation to detect incoming ballistic missiles almost instantly. That gives you the vital time needed to prepare a defense or potentially launch a retaliatory strike. It's about strategic stability or instability, depending on how you look at it.
And Russia was helping China build that.
That was the claim. The head of the Russian defense contractor MAK Vimpel later confirmed their assistance in a whole number of areas, including critical technical stuff like modeling, space situational awareness, which is basically tracking everything else up there, satellites, debris, you name it, and radio electronic systems.
Okay, so that shows trust at the deepest levels of military technology sharing, doesn't it? Sharing MUWS technology is serious business.
Extremely serious. It indicates a very tight alignment.
So this intense strategic alignment in space, it naturally raises an important and frankly, Quite terrifying question. What's the most sensitive, the highest risk intelligence allegedly shared recently between them, and what are the global implications if this is proven true?
Yeah, the most recent and perhaps most sensitive claim came right from the top. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky himself. This was in September 2024. He stated he had recent information indicating Russia had received Chinese satellite imagery, specifically of Ukrainian nuclear power stations.
Wow. Nuclear power stations. I mean, targeting those or even just surveilling them that closely with help from another major power, that introduces a massive, terrifying new level of risk to civilian infrastructure, to regional stability, everything.
It absolutely does. It crosses a line far beyond targeting, say, an electronics plant or military infrastructure.
Yeah.
So, understandably, analysts globally are looking at this and asking, what is the policy response needed from Washington if these allegations turn out to be accurate? What is the so what for the global security framework here,
Accountability has to be the first step
right?
if this is happening.
Precisely. Analysts are stressing that Washington must hold China accountable somehow for allegedly abetting these Russian barrages against cities and vital infrastructure. Furthermore, there's a strong push now to consider declassifying any additional intelligence the U.S. might have regarding this matter.
Why declassify? What would that achieve?
Well, declassifying intelligence, if it's solid, would show the world, perhaps definitively, the level of cooperation. It would put immense diplomatic and public pressure on Beijing.
Make it harder to deny.
Exactly. And sanctions. Sanctions have been used as tools in this area before, haven't they?
They have, yes. We mentioned the Wagner-related ones.
Right. And the recommendation now is clear from some analysts. Impose sanctions against any culpable Chinese companies involved in this that haven't already been designated. And there is precedent, as you said. The U.S. previously sanctioned Chinese firms for supplying similar kinds of imagery to the Houthi group in Yemen.
Okay.
So the tool exists, and the policy recommendation seems to be use it to address this potential critical escalation.
So, okay, let's bring this together. What does this all mean for you, for the listener, tracking this conflict? The evidence, or at least the allegations and patterns, suggest a complex, high-trust, long-term space partnership isn't just theoretical anymore.
No, it seems to be allegedly intersecting directly with a ground war in real time.
Offering one side a crucial technological advantage, potentially, and escalating the danger for civilian populations by giving them eyes for their deadliest targets. It's quite profound.
Yeah, the key takeaway is that this geopolitical conflict is absolutely no longer confined to the ground or even the atmosphere. It has fully reached orbit. And the very nature of strategic alliances is being tested by this alleged flow of high-fidelity, real-time intelligence. When space assets are reportedly utilized to target critical national and civilian infrastructure, it drastically alters the calculation of risk and involvement for every nation, really. It makes orbital supremacy, or at least capability, directly equivalent to power projected on the ground.
So just consider how dependent modern warfare has become on these orbital assets.
Mhm.
I mean, not just for navigation, getting missiles from point A to point B, but for choosing the specific target and what it means when commercial and potentially strategic space assets are utilized for military purposes in major conflicts like this one.
That dependence is a massive global vulnerability.
And understanding who controls the high ground of space, or who shares control, is now just fundamentally linked to global stability or instability right here on Earth. You've been listening to The Military Point. Stay sharp, stay informed, and we'll catch you next time.